You're watching CHCO-TV's gavel-to-gavel coverage of the public hearing of objections and special council meeting for the town of St. Andrews. I'm Vicki Hogarth.
And I'm Florence Mitchell. In today's meeting, the town will hold a public hearing of objections to changes in the development agreement and economic development agreement for Compass Housing. After the town agreed to give a $500,000 grant to Compass Housing to proceed with constructing a 42-unit affordable housing complex for the community, Compass Housing is seeking to change the previously agreed upon rental rates from $800 to $1,200 in range to $950 to $1,500. Council already accepted letters from the public on these agreements and will hear from members of the community during the hearing of objections.
After listening to what residents have to say, Council will then proceed with a special meeting of Council to vote on whether or not to go ahead with the changes in the rental rates for Compass Housing. If Council votes in favor of approving the new rates, then these rates will be locked in place for 15 years and Compass Housing will be issued their foundation permit and the contractors will be able to break ground on the apartment complex this month.
Now let's join Council at the W.C. O'Neill Arena Complex Council Chambers in St. Andrews.
Good evening, everyone. We're on Thursday, October 19th, 2023 for the public hearing of objections meeting. And so we'll begin with the record of attendance, and everybody is here. Yes, and Councillor Blanchard is on Zoom.
Yeah,
but the mayor is not here tonight because of a conflict.
He is, but he wanted to make an appearance to declare it in person instead of there, so just give us
Does he want to do that first?
Well, yeah, because the conflict should be at this meeting.
All right, thank you. Then I'll wait for the mayor. So, record of attendance, as we said, everyone is here, including the mayor right now. And I want you to know that we are on to welcome everyone that's here tonight and everyone that's online. And we recognize that we are on the unceded traditional territory of the Beskoto-Makati people under the umbrella of the Wolastoqey people, because the Beskoto-Makati are not yet recognized in Canada, but we will soon be. So I need an approval of the agenda, and this is for the agenda for the 23-1019 public hearing of objections to the development and economic agreements for Compass Housing be approved as presented. And Councillor Neal is first, Councillor Harlan seconded, and we'll go for the question. All those in favor? Aye. Contrary minded? Carried unanimously. Thank you. So now we will D, which is disclosure of conflict of interest. And I see the mayor's hand up, so he is declaring conflict of interest for this session. So thank you, Mayor.
I am, and I'll be declaring it for the 6:45 p.m. as well, just for the minutes. At this point, I'll jump off. So thank you, everyone, and have a good evening.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening. There are no presentations, and so we are on F, which is the hearing of objections for the Compass Housing, and I go to Councillor Heenan for this.
Request for amendment to 302 Mowat Drive Development Agreement and Economic Agreement PED 230907. The Council of the Town of St. Andrews is holding a public meeting to hear objections and comments to the proposed change to the Development Agreement and Economic Development Agreement for Compass Housing Incorporated at 302 Mowat Drive, PID 013-25521, to change the rental range from $800 to $1,200 to $950 to $1,500.
Thank you, Councillor Heenan. I just realized I threw you under the bus for this one instead of the next one. Sorry. So now we will go to any anybody that would like to speak on this hearing of objections tonight? Oh, sorry.
Sorry, Your Worship, so I'll note that there were 5 letters that were submitted to the town of St. Andrews. Council has been provided with each of those letters. In summary, the letters were more focused on not just the rental rates, but there were suggestions of should there be changes to the affordable rental numbers within the development? Should there be other changes to the timelines within the processes that have been laid out within the development agreements and the economic development agreements in consultation with legal? All of the timelines, the affordable housing ranges, and the number of units the number of units and the affordable ranges were established by council as the affordable range. So you don't have to list out that 11 units will be under $950 or CMHC levels. That was decided by council. As well, in talking with legal, they were fine with just the change to the rental rates, and that is really the focus of the public hearing of objections. So you can hear other aspects as it is the development agreement and economic development agreement opened. However, it was specific to just the rental rates. So I just wanted to bring council up to date that you have received those, and for the public's knowledge, that information has been provided to council.
Thank you, Mr. Knopper. So, is there anyone that would like to speak on that, the rates for tonight? Is there anybody online that would like to speak?
Your Worship, there's no one online.
No one online. So we still have to wait, though?
Your Worship, if there's no further comments from the public in any forum, then you can proceed with the meeting.
Okay. So, since there are no one willing to speak, we've got the 5 letters, so we've reviewed those. So we can go on to question period. So any questions by anyone? Audience? Online? Nobody. Okay. So there's no questions. So I need a motion for adjournment. Mr. Councillor Heenan, and seconded by Councillor Gomichelle. Thank you very much, and we're done.
Deputy Mayor, you actually have to call all in favor.
Oh, sorry, all in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Now we're adjourned. So we will start the next one in 5 minutes. Thank you very much. Okay, Council. We are in the special meeting of Council Thursday, October the 19th, 2023 at 6:45 p.m. And this is follows the public hearing of objections that we just had. So the agenda is there before you, and I will need a approval of the, first recording of attendance, and we are all here except for the mayor, who has a conflict of interest for this, so he has stepped out and will join us later. And I would like to welcome everyone and reiterate that we are on the unceded territory of the Beskotomakati people under the umbrella of the Wolastoqey people until we get the recognition in Canada, but we are here. Approval of the agenda. The motion is that the agenda for this 23-1019 special council meeting be approved as presented, but I need to tell you that we will need to add the closed session for our agenda. But could we have a mover and a seconder? Councillor Harland and Councillor Heenan. And then I will ask the clerk to read the closed session we have to go into.
So council will go into closed session under Local Governance Act Section 68(1)D, the proposed or pending acquisition or disposal of land.
Thank you very much, Clerk Knopper. And so now we are on to...
Deputy Mayor.
We need to vote.
Thank you.
All those in favor, say aye. Contrary minded? So it's carried with the amended, with the addition of the closed session. Disclosure of conflict. Mayor Henderson has stepped away as his conflict. There are no presentations for tonight. And so we are on F, which is introduction, consideration, and passing of bylaws and motions for the Compass Housing Incorporated, request for amendment to 302 Mowat Drive Development Agreement and Economic Development Agreement, PED 230907. So I will pass this on to Councillor Heenan, who will be doing the motions.
Thank you, Your Worship and Council. Reference number is PED 230907. Compass Housing Incorporated requests for amendment to 302 Mowat Drive Development Agreement and Economic Development Agreement. The Town of St. Andrews has received a request from Ms. Bevington, Compass Housing Incorporated, regarding an amendment to 302 Mowat Drive Development Agreement and Economic Development Agreement. The request is to modify the agreements to reflect a change in the rental rates from $800 to $1,200 to $950 to $1,500. Council has hosted a public hearing of objections as per Section 59 and 111 of the Community Planning Act on Thursday, October the 19th, 2023. Based on processes, Council can proceed with the amendment changed if desired. And the action is, motion, that the Council of the Town of St. Andrews approves the requested amendment change of rental rates from $800 to $1,200 to $950 to $1,500 in the Development Agreement and Economic Development Agreement for Compass Housing Incorporated at 302 Mowat Drive, PID 013-25521. I so move this, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Heenan. Could I have a seconder, please? Councillor Harlan.
Now, do I do the amendments now?
We do the amendments?
Yes.
Please.
Okay, I have to move with two amendments. One is that the Council of the Town of St. Andrews approves the amendment as per Section 51 of the Community Planning Act to Section 3.2 of the Development Agreement between Compass Housing Incorporated and the Town of St. Andrews for PID 013-25521, 302 Mowat Drive, to change the rental rates of $800 to $1,200 to $950 to $1,500. I so move.
Thank you, Councillor Heenan. I need a seconder, please. Councillor Gumashell.
And I have one more amendment, please.
We need to vote on this first.
Oh, we have to vote on that. I'm sorry.
All those in favor? Oh, wait. Oh, sorry. What's the hand for? Oh, we need to have some discussion. Okay. Is there any discussion on this motion that Councillor Heenan has just read? Councillor Hurdle.
Thanks. Just for clarity, I just missed the gist of the amendment. I didn't really catch the core of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Hurdle.
I'm more than happy to reread it.
No, it was, so the reason for the amendments aren't changing anything except that we thought it'd be better because it's a legal agreement, the Development Economic Agreement and the Economic Agreement and the Development Agreement are two agreements. And so instead of the general, we want to be very specific of the paragraphs. So the rentals are changing. It's just it's two contracts that are being affected. So we dug in a little deeper and felt more comfortable to be very specific. So because at least the development agreement has to be registered. And so when you amend a contract, you better be as specific as possible.
Thank you. So it's just to amend the language around the contract. Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Hurdle. Anyone else? Mr. Knopper?
Sorry, Deputy Mayor, just one clarification. Councillor Heenan noted it was Section 51. It's Section 59. My apologies if it wasn't there. It's Section 59 of the Community Planning Act.
Thank you for that correction, Mr. Knopper. And no further discussion, then we will go for, Mr. Spear. Mr. Knopper. One of them. Oh, and Councillor Weir first. Can we do Councillor Weir first while you guys are discussing? Sorry, Mr. Councillor Weir.
Not so much to do with the motion. I realize the motion's very narrow. But I've been studying this agreement and working with it since it came to my attention a couple of months ago. And I'm not
Your microphone,
No.
sorry.
I'm not going to go through all the details of everything that I've expressed concerns about. I think I can boil it down to just a couple issues. Number one, I feel that there was not adequate due diligence in going through it. There may have been on a verbal basis. There certainly isn't on a documentation basis that I've seen anything on. Every organization that passes out grants has a requirement for, who the proponents are and their equity and financial projections and a multitude of things, whether it's a COA, whether it's even our council. When we're giving money to the Welcome Center or something like that, we're looking for all kinds of information. So I don't feel that, in my opinion, strictly my opinion, it's not a criticism or anything, but so I feel there was not due diligence, and in the Economic Development Agreement, there is a provision for monthly reports, but there's no definition of what the monthly reports are, whether they're financial reports or an email or what they are. It could be a phone call. I don't, I just find that very strange in a legal agreement that we would have a requirement for monthly reports, but yet not define what the monthly reports are. And the other clause that jumped out at me, maybe because of my history, we have provision in there for doing an audit if we want, with no provision to be provided with annual financial statements or anything. So I don't know how we would know if we wanted to do an audit, since we don't have access to anything that would indicate to us that we had concerns and wanted to do an audit. So again, just another thing that jumped out at me. I probably got 10 things that jumped out at me that I had some concerns with, but I'm not going to go into all of them. I just feel too much has been done verbally, and that the legal agreement should be more comprehensive. That's the word I'm looking for, I guess. So, thank you very much, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Weir. Any response? No?
No, Your Worship, not responding to Councillor Weir. Okay. Good points. But I just wanted to state, just back to the motion, that just for the sake of the record, that Councillor Heenan restate it with the proper section number, just so it's perfectly clear.
Councillor Heenan, would you please do that?
So the first amendment would be that the Council of the Town of St. Andrews approves the amendment as per Section 59 of the Community Planning Act to Section 3.2 of the Development Agreement between Compass Housing Incorporated and the Town of St. Andrews for PID 013-25521, 302 Mowat Drive, to change the rental rates of $800 to $1,200 to $950 to $1,500. And as I did, I move that.
And Councillor Gomichel seconded it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now we will vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? 1, 2. Councillor Weir and Councillor Bennett. Did you get that? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much. And now the second amendment, please.
Yes. The second amendment, Your Worship, is that the Council of the Town of St. Andrews approves the amendment as per Section 104 of the Local Governance Act to Section 4C of the Economic Development Agreement between Compass Housing Incorporated and the Town of St. Andrews for PID 013-25521, and that is PID Oh, that was the PID. 013-25521 is the PID 302 Mowat Drive to change the rental rates of $800 to $1,200 to $950 to $1,500, and I so move, Your Worship.
Thank you very much, Councillor Heenan. Could I have a seconder, please? Councillor Bennett. Any discussion, Council? From Mark? No discussion? No, okay. Councillor Neal?
Thank you, Your Worship. Yeah, just for the point of clarity, I just wanted to mention again that the rental rates that have been proposed here, again, we're not solely coming from just the proponent, but they were also the recommended rates from CMHC that they had agreed to as well as far as the development goes. And also just remind everybody that, again, the rates have been locked in, I guess, for lack of better words, for the period of the next 15 years. And that, again, the town is looking to basically recoup the investment that we're giving them. I can't remember the exact timeline, but I believe it was within the next 10 years based on the tax base. So I just wanted to put that out there again for clarity for the public.
Thank you, Councillor Neal.
Yep.
Any further comments, Council? If not, then we'll go for the question. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye, Your Worship.
Contrary minded? Just Councillor Weir. So it's carried 6-1. Thank you very much.
Now,
Deputy Mayor, now you got to go back to the original motion
Yes.
as amended.
We have to go back to the original motion as read by Councillor Heenan and seconded by Councillor Harland. So any further discussion before we go on? Not seeing any, then I will call for the question. All those in favor, say aye.
aye, Your Worship.
Contrary minded? Councillor Bennett and Councillor Weir. So it's carried 5-2. Thank you, Council. Now we continue on. New business? No new business. Question period? Any questions from online? 1 second.
No question from online.
No questions from online. Any questions from the audience? No? No questions from the audience? So there are no questions. We'll continue on. So the next is Councillor and Deputy Mayor's comments. Any comments, councillors? Councillor Weir.
Yes, I'd like to clarify one thing. I'm very positive on affordable housing. One of the things I ran my assistant. I'm very favorable on affordable housing. I ran part of my campaign on that. It's very high on my agenda of things to accomplish, but I've been in the business world since July 1969, so I can't overlook everything I've learned in that 54 years or whatever it is. And, you know, there's just certain processes that I feel have to be in place. So in no way am I think it's probably a wonderful project, but I can't really, you know, tell without analyzing it, my way of analyzing things. So I just wanted to clarify that. And my hands are shaking not because I'm nervous, but because I suffer from essential tremors. I don't know what the hell is essential about them, but.
Thank you,
Thank
Councillor
you.
Weir. And as the mayor would say, that's why we have you on board, to keep us straight. Any other comments from any other councillor? If not, I'm the Deputy Mayor. I have one comment. Thank you, staff and what do you call our workers, I guess, who hung up the banners for Remembrance Day. They are awesome. I've had a lot of good comments about them, and much discussion that's coming about them, but they are fantastic to see up, and I'm so honored for the veterans, for the Legion members, for everyone, but to thank you guys because you were out there putting them up the next day that we had received them. So as usual, you're way ahead of us, but thank you very much, and I'm really proud that they're up. Thank you. And I think that's it. So now, the next session is the closed session, right? So we will go into closed session, and I will ask everybody to leave except for the council. And we need to have a motion to go into closed session at 7:05, and I'll get the clerk to read it first. Again?
So, Your Worship, so at 7:05 PM, that the Council of the Town of St. Andrews moves into closed session as per Local Governance Act, Section 68(1)D, the proposed or pending acquisition or disposal of land.
Thank you very much, and I need a seconder. Councillor Gumashell is going first, we need a seconder too. Councillor Hurdle, thank you very much. So at 7:05, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye? We only heard one aye. Carried, and we'll go into, give them a few minutes to get into closed session. Thank you very much, Council. Thank you for coming, everybody in the audience, and thank you for those that were online.